Alright! I haven't done one of these book vlog things in ages. Let's see what today's writing mood is. Wait, what? Hello potential friends and welcome back to the Vlogging Nook with me, Alexandra. Yes, one of the reasons that I've been so quiet on here recently is because at the end of 2020, I got a book deal.
Hey Alexandra, what's new?
I got an email today.
Oh, what was the email?
The email may or may not have been a press saying that they wanted to acquire my book.
Acquire your book? What does that mean?
I won't know until they send me details, but maybe it's getting published. Maybe. I don't know. I've been editing up a storm the last few months, and I handed in my most recent draft to my editor. I can't believe I have an editor. A couple days ago. So yeah, a dream of mine since I was a child, basically, you know, my main life goal, is coming true. No big deal. My debut young adult novel, a coming-of-age bisexual tale of woe and mystery, will be coming out with Enoch Press in either spring 2022 or summer 2022. We don't know yet, but next year. It is called The Queen of Junk Island. It's got enemies to lovers, it's got family secrets literally surfacing out of a lake, it's got Polaroid cameras, it's got the age-old question: am I being haunted by an actual ghost or am I just depressed? I'll give a better description in a second, but first, a quick reflection. Anyone who's been following me for a while knows that I used to make the occasional video back in 2018, 2019 about this book that I was writing while I was getting my master's in creative writing. I haven't talked about it on here in a while because I was going through, for a while there, the extremely demoralizing process of sending it out to agents and getting resoundingly rejected for months. I never did find an agent, but I did get the book to a point where an editor at Enoch was confident in it enough to bring it forth to her team last fall, and now here we are. Oh, I actually first started working on The Queen of Junk Island in 2015 in a novel writing course at the University of Toronto, which is wild to me, partly because in 2015 I would never have imagined that I could focus on something and care about it for 5 years, you know? I went to grad school years after that, pretty much just to save that book because I still believed in it and I still wanted to write it, but I knew there was so much more work that needed to be done and I really needed the legitimacy and structure of school to actually force me to finish it. This book has been rewritten at least 3 times and has been edited to death many more times than that. I mean, I still have some editing to go, but we're so close now. Like, we've talked about cover art, y'all. It's real. So to give you guys a better description of the book, since we haven't figured out what would go on the book jacket yet, I thought that I could read you guys the closest thing I have, which is the actual pitch that I sent to agents. The Queen of Junk Island takes place over one summer in the mysterious family cottage that 16-year-old Dell hasn't been back to since she was a toddler. Dell and her mother, Anne, move in after the man who's been renting it turns it into an illegal dumping site, leaving the lake behind the cottage so filled with garbage that a pile of it has formed an island. Anne has never been able to talk with Dell about her childhood at the cottage and the death of her sister Julie, but the timing couldn't be worse for honesty. Dell, still reeling from her boyfriend posting nude photos of her online at the end of the school year, is convinced that her mother hates her. In a bid to get her daughter to open up, Anne invites her own boyfriend's daughter, Ivy, to live with them for the summer and help them clean up. The problem isn't that Dell and Ivy hate each other almost as much as Ivy and Anne get on. The problem is that the more time Dell and Ivy spend together, the more Dell begins to realize that what she feels for Ivy is only going to make things more complicated. Meanwhile, she thinks she might be getting haunted. That line wasn't in the official pitch. Maybe it should have been. Then I would have gotten an agent. So that's The Queen of Junk Island. You know, there's other stuff to the book. It's set in the mid-2000s, for instance, when people fully thought the word bisexual did not exist. And, you know, Ivy has her own hurdles and journey to go through as an Indigenous teenager who's growing up in a mostly white, small, rural Ontario town. But I don't want to give away the whole book at once. I'll keep you guys updated on when it is available to pre-order, and I know for sure that I will post a video of me sobbing when I get my first author copies and get to, you know, actually hold it. But before I sign off here, because I don't want this video to go on for too long, I just want to have a little unscripted moment here. I have wanted to be a writer since as long as I can remember. It still doesn't feel real because I don't have a copy of the book in my hands, and I've been working on it for so long that, you know, it's hard to really understand that soon the editing and working process will be done. There will be a finished book, and that other people are going to actually read it and hopefully enjoy it and get something out of it, and know these characters that I've spent so much time with. And I don't know really how to talk about how much this means to me. I would always say as a kid, because I was so practical, that I wanted to be a writer when I grew up, but I knew you couldn't be a writer because writers don't make money. I think I've mentioned in past book vlogs about this, that this book is, you know, the kind of book that I would have deeply appreciated reading when I was 16 and growing up in a tiny rural town. And I had only ever read one book with like a lesbian main character, you know? I just hope that other people love it. And even if one person reads it and feels that it helped them understand something about themselves, or, you know, not even that. If one person reads it and they're like, wow, I had a good time, that was a worthwhile few hours of my life, that's enough for me. And also, I realized while I was planning this video and actually telling you guys, but I realized that I literally have this channel because of this book. I don't want to fully get into it now, but the novel writing course that I started this novel in was very valuable to me because it gave me this book. It gave me the idea and the space to start working on this, but it was one of the most difficult creative writing course experiences I've ever had. Maybe I'll get into that at some point. And I was going through such a tough time in 4th year doing that course. I was also in a playwriting course, and I just hated my own writing so much at that time that I desperately needed another creative outlet, and that's why I started my YouTube channel, because I hated my book. Because I thought I was the world's worst writer, and I needed something that made me feel good about creating stuff, and so I made this channel. So being able to announce that that same book is gonna be published on this channel, it's really like a full circle moment. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that. I'm really excited. As a reminder, the book is called The Queen of Junk Island, and it will be coming out with Annick Press next year, and I will let you guys know more information as things go along. Yeah, I hope you guys are excited to meet Dell. She's great. She's on the verge of going feral constantly, which I think is a big mood for being a teenage girl, to be quite frank. Anyway, I better check and see if I have any emails from my editor, etc. Yeah. I'll see you guys later. Bye. I would just love it to not be red so that this has a better vibe, but it keeps being red every time I open it. I don't know what that is supposed to mean. I had to work all day, so I didn't get to do, like, you know, a proper celebration. Also, it's a pandemic. Yay! It's been a weird day. This is me on the day that I got a book acquiring